Welcome, guys, and thanks for joining us again for another Bourbon and Blockchain Happy Hour. Special welcome to the guest, Hush, in his astronaut costume. Man, that is awesome. We envy you. We have nothing like that. We are nowhere, in no way as cool as you, for sure.
It's pretty hot in here. You're probably a little more comfortable.
That is awesome. I am so jealous of your suit, I gotta say.
I am too. I am too. That's so cool. So, hey, welcome to you. We always like to just start off and say our welcomes and ask how everybody's been. So, Draco, why don't you kick us off? How are things going in your world?
Oh man, everything's good. We were actually talking about it in the Discord earlier. It's fun because you have Christmas and you get with family and you have all this time to spend with people, and then that kind of gets followed up by New Year's. So you kind of have two really close holidays. Then you go back to work and you just get slammed. And it's just the complete opposite. You go from fun and relaxation with your family to pedal to the metal because you ignored work for 3 weeks straight, right? So that's what everybody's kind of dealing with. And people are trickling back into the discords and onto the internet and saying, what's going on? Wait a minute. Bitcoin what?
Isn't that the truth, right? And it's today of all days. Look at the market. It's insane. People,
Oh,
all of a sudden, people got excited again, all in one day, right?
right.
So, yeah,
And foreshadowed by the CPI data, which, okay.
yeah, whatever. I'm
Little
scared to do
green gets
anything on
everyone all
CPI.
excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about you? What about you, Hush? Why don't you introduce us to yourself and let the community know who you are?
I'm Hush. My real name's Dalton Richins, IRL. I'm the founder of Casa De Luna, the astronaut project that's all over Twitter right now. We're currently minting. I have a wife, I have two kids, a 3-year-old girl, an 8-year-old boy, and I own a construction company in real life. And yeah, we're just chugging along, man. Things are going good.
It's
Things
awesome.
are
It
looking up.
always, it always, it always, surprises me when I hear of what we do in real life, and then you throw in that you're, a crypto fanatic and starting up something, and it's refreshing to know that we're not the only people that have normal jobs in this space, right?
Yeah, right.
We are not programmers by nature, right? We're just we are passionate about it. We took a hobby, leveraged our knowledge of research and project management to develop something what we believe is very special. So it's really awesome to hear a little bit about you.
100%. Yeah, it's funny how many contractors I meet in this space too. Like
Mhm.
the amount of people in construction in Web3 blows my mind. Every other person, man.
Well, I personally am in oil and gas, so
There you go.
it's very unique. A lot of people are like, "What?" And when they find out, hey, I'm like a boomer, right? Well, at least that's what they call me. Not quite a boomer, right? But yeah, there's all sorts of interesting characters in this space, and I think we said it before we came on air. We're glad to see a face that's similar in age to us and can share a drink. So
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
cheers, man.
Cheers. Yeah, one of the things that I'd like to bring up is that obviously we're all doing our own thing, we're working our own projects, and it's good to see that there's people that have a lot of life experience and they're creating things behind the scenes. So it's really good to meet you. We've learned a little bit about your project while we were preparing for this meeting, and I think we can start to prepare for that. And maybe talk a little bit about what's going on in the markets and some quick news and get some reaction out of that if you guys are good with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
All right,
let's do it.
let's see. So one of the big news articles that came out recently, if you guys are aware, AVAX Labs partnered with Amazon Web Services to accelerate blockchain adoption. So, after reading a couple articles, pretty much what is going on is AWS is offering their web services and they're utilizing a lot of their virtual networks and virtual servers and allowing new businesses and projects that aren't already involved in Web3 an easy way to access their servers and to jumpstart right into Web3. So you would have servers and you would have a cryptocurrency project to work with immediately. And I think that's pretty cool. Like it's like an accelerator program for big businesses.
Yeah, that's really
That's
cool,
nuts.
Draco. Yeah. I can't think of another time where this has been done actually in the real world.
No, no, I have not. So I think that this is the first time that this has been done, in my opinion, or for what we've seen at this scale, at least, right?
Yep.
And there was a huge pump from it as well, right? The pump came in almost immediately upon the news coming through. Stuff just started rallying. So you can kind of see here that the market was, AVAX is kind of going down, and maybe some insiders kind of heard about what was going on, and then boom, it just took off like a rocket.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And we just so happen to have a AVAX node, validator node up and
That
running.
is
So
correct.
that's even better.
That works.
That's even better news for the BnBS club members. So super exciting news. I can't think of a time where they've tried to bring an accelerator program to real life businesses like this. Can you? I know there's plenty of grants out there for Web3 businesses that have been provided by, I think Phantom. The Phantom Foundation was a big one that comes to mind, where they were really funding people to get up started and helping them. But
Yeah,
this is a whole new concept for me.
yeah, it is. And I wonder how that's going to tie into, the e-commerce side of things as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Amazon Web Services is in a very unique position in the sense that not only can they work with other businesses and companies, right? They can actually provide, all of these services. They can provide the servers, and they can make that link to a blockchain so that, I'm assuming that they're going to get to the point where it's one click, two click, you're off and running, and your business is Web3, right? I think that's what they're going for, and that's amazing. So I think right now this is kind of a blip on the radar, but long term, I think this is going to be really big bullish news long term. I think you guys both got muted.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still learning the system.
No, it's all good.
Don't click the
So
red X button. You will leave.
Right, I know. I was like, where do I get the camera off so I can find the hat real quick?
So yeah,
No,
both
that's
Amazon and AVAX are both really excited about this. So I think this will, right now this is good news. I think we'll see this more pop up in the future, in my opinion.
Yep. No, I
100%.
agree. I agree. So that brings up a whole nother topic, right? Which chain is most suitable to be utilized, in your opinions, for transacting purposes?
Ooh,
Ooh,
I'll let you take that. Hush, you take the first one.
for transacting purposes. I am the wrong
Transacting
one.
purposes.
I am the wrong one to ask that. I use ETH. I only use ETH. I have only used ETH.
You are the way
Ooh.
wrong person to ask then.
I know there's a lot of other chains out there that are cheaper or more, more cost effective when it comes to certain things. For me, ETH has just been safe.
Yeah.
From what I know, I haven't really ever explored outside of it. I definitely need to. I hear a lot more good things coming from a lot of different blockchains, but ETH is kind of where I've just dabbled in part.
You know what? That's great. That's good because we're on Polygon, which is a layer 2 for Ethereum, and I think Maverick can give you a lot of examples of why it's such a good system. But I mean, one thing that we can literally put right out the gate is transaction speed and transaction cost.
Oh
So
yeah.
when you minted NFTs, right? So Maverick, when you minted NFTs for our project, how much did it cost you to mint, say, let's say more than 20 NFTs?
Yeah, 7/10 of a penny.
7/10 of a penny.
Yep.
And how long did it take to have them minted and have the transaction go
Oh,
through the blockchain?
it was quick. It was a lot faster than Ethereum on a busy day. I can tell you that.
Yeah, so there's some positives there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
transacting purposes, or if somebody is having to perform functions on the Ethereum blockchain on a regular basis, even just like staking things, right? Where you're not even pulling profit, you're not really transacting, you're staking or something, you're still paying whenever the gas fees are higher, an astronomical fee. And so I think Ethereum served its purpose and will continue serving its purpose. But I think, just like Polygon's done, we're going to see innovation exist on layer twos of Ethereum. Polygon being the one that me personally, I'm the most excited about. I hear people talking about XRP all the time and how that's going to take over the monetary system. I think that's a bunch of whatever. Come on, XRP's been sitting at 30 to 50 cents for how long? 4 years, something like that. I just, for the purposes of something like this, I feel like Polygon's perfectly built. Now, I will tell you, I personally have a soft spot in my heart for AVAX, Avalanche.
Yep.
So I'm not disappointed that this news came out either
Me neither.
whatsoever.
No, I completely agree with you. And the one thing that I'll add to that, I think that Ethereum long term will become a store of value for smart contracts and big money. I think that'll become a store of value because it's going to be too expensive for people to do day-to-day transactions on there. Ethereum, when it's being utilized a lot and the market has a lot of traffic, you could spend hundreds of dollars for a transaction, and it's just not scalable, especially for price wise. And I think that's okay. I think Ethereum has its place, and these other blockchains that are able to do tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of transactions per second at one millionth of the cost, I think that's valuable. I think that there's something there for that. So just an opinion, but I do love Ethereum. It's by far the biggest big daddy crypto, right? But it is. I think that it will evolve over time. So with that being said, what do you guys know about Bitcoin? So Bitcoin just jumped. I mean, it went crazy, guys. We hit 19,000. I think it went up almost to 19,100, and then it kind of stabilized. What do you think is the catalyst for this? Do you think it's all just about inflation, or do you think that people are just kind of getting sick of the market not performing? I heard a story that Bitcoin was its least volatile in 4 years over the last few months, meaning that it didn't move in price for outside of $100 of a movement, which is a good thing in the sense of less volatility. Bad thing for people that are trying to pump Bitcoin, right? So what do you guys think moved Bitcoin?
I think it was the sad doom and gloom that everyone was experiencing from the global media outlets that just kind of kicked everyone into gear and kind of said, you know what, middle finger, like
yeah.
I think that had a big thing to do with it.
That can happen when people band together and put their capital towards something. We've seen markets be shifted and moved, and I don't think that that's the case necessarily with this. It's amazing in crypto, just the eyes that are on it constantly. I mean, so whenever there's traction, right, and a big buy comes in, you'll see like the sharks swarming. You'll see when you start to see strength of whatever kind, it's like a pack of animals that just band together and all buy in, right? So I don't really know. Institutions I don't think are buying in yet, right? There's no news about banks really. The news is pretty stale at the moment. In fact, there's more negative sentiment. So I don't really have a good explanation other than FOMO, right? Like we all band together as apes, and as you see it going up, you jump on board. So I don't know if there's
hive mentality.
That's right. I really don't think that there's a good reason why it's happening other than it's a free market, and as it shifts, people try and capitalize.
And they do, right? Like that these are those kind of moments that if you got lucky, you got lucky, sort of thing, and there's big ones coming this year.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if you peruse through Twitter today, you'll see a lot of people showing their leveraged positions, right? Because they haven't had a winning day in a month, and today of all days they got it. That's right.
Yeah, and that's what kind of makes me a little bit nervous. I will point this out. El Salvador passed a law paving the way for volcano bonds. They're going to utilize volcano energy and try to utilize that for mining Bitcoin and things like that, which I think is their way of finding sustainable energy to participate in crypto and proof of work. So we'll see how that goes. I do see this as like there's nothing negative about this, right? This any news is good news as long as it's like in the positive, right? But with specifically with this pump, I think that a lot of people are already calling like, oh, the bull market's back, this, that, and the other. And I think people should be very, very reserved with there are a lot of bear market pumps that happen all the time. They're just little blips on the radar. They get a little bit bullish. People are consolidating and bringing in some money, and they're starting to acquire some Bitcoin. So I wouldn't call that we're going to a full on bull market just yet. I'm going to sit back and wait and watch and see what happens.
Fundamentals just aren't there yet. They're not. The question for you guys: how do you think they capitalize off of volcanic energy? I mean, how the heck?
I was going to ask the same thing.
I know there's a ton of energy there. Yeah,
I was gonna ask the same thing.
You have to be like an astrophysicist, so you should know something about this, right?
I'm a construction worker here, guys. I got a great team around me that has a lot of information, right? And I know what I need to know and what I want to, and but this I'm curious. I never ever would have combined a volcano and an energy source into like a light bulb, right? So I'm curious on what they're how they're gonna do it.
Has to be heat, right? It produces steam. Steam powered engines have existed since before any of our modern engines, so it has to be something like that. Oh, Miss El Salvador's Bitcoin suit.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of countries that are taking on Bitcoin as it's a big deal for them. It's a big deal for their economy. So there's a lot of countries really embracing this. There's a lot of people embracing this. So, I mean, again, I don't see anything negative about it. I think it's good, right? It's good PR for Bitcoin and crypto in general.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's a little over the top right there, but who am I to judge?
Oh, that's not your style?
No, I wear a hat and boots every day, so I'm definitely not the person to take fashion advice from.
Are those coconuts around the outside, or what is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what is that? They look like almonds, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, you know what? It's great. She's doing a good job. Thank you very much, Miss Universe. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, that was the reason.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I think that's mostly what's going on today. Outside of that, we wanted to talk about your project as well. So I think that Casa De Luna, we've been looking into you guys. We've been reading about you and your project. Would you like to give us a little bit of information about you guys and what you guys are doing?
Yeah, for sure. So I came into the Web3 space, probably right around a year ago, give or take, when it comes to NFTs. Going through, all these projects, losing all this money, losing, you got all these rugs, you got, you're learning and losing at the same time, So I kind of just got thinking, I'm like, how can we set something up to where we don't have to worry about, funding for the project to keep it going. If the floor starts to drop and the market hits bad like it is right now again, what can we do to ensure that our funding doesn't take a hit and that we can just push forward, right? And then I got into another project. It was called Respected Rhinos, and they introduced me to the realm of e-commerce. One of their utilities was that they had e-commerce guidance for its holders. So I kind of got looking around in there, thinking about all the possibilities personally, like for myself, right? How can I add this to make to give myself more time in real life to be able to focus on stuff like this? Still haven't figured that out yet, by the way, but so taking that, I just thought, I was like, why not start a project a little different? Why don't we set up the roadmap version 1 to kind of to essentially set up this business, to set up the foundation, the sustainability. So I kind of took that and ran with it. So Casa De Luna, we have 1,234 of these astronauts. So not a ton of them. I calculated my pricing to right around exactly what we were going to need. Our public price is 0.14 Ethereum, so it's not chump change by any means. So at the end of this sellout, at the end of this mint here on this first collection, we're going to launch our first store. Okay, so one or two, depending on where everything lands, but for sure, this first store is going to launch. We have a upfront fee that we have to pay, and this fee pays for them building the store, curating the store, marketing the store. Okay. So they pick the hot products. They pick the high margins, the ones that are selling. We don't really control any of that. We just kind of let them do their thing. That way we know, the store is going to be profitable. Now, everything e-commerce on Amazon is just barely switched over to FBA only. So this means Amazon is fulfilling these orders, which is a super good thing for the space, because then you don't have any more of those dings, those the packaging wasn't correct, the label wasn't right. So this kind of just alleviates all of those account health problems that a lot of people ran into in the very beginning. Now, this team does our customer service, they do our returns, they handle everything. So this entire thing is 95% passive. The only thing I have to do is I have to go and I have to pay off our credit line of credit bill for the inventory that was purchased. Then we go into this second collection where we're going to add 4 or 5 more stores total. We're going to have about 6 of these stores running by the end of this roadmap. Okay, so in the meantime, you guys are getting, there's 4 drops planned. So the OGs, you get a free claim to everyone. So you're immediately getting your 3 free claims to, the next collections. We have a play to earn arcade, just something to bring a little fun to business. I know this is super simple, super business oriented over here. I just wanted to bring a little fun. You can go up there, go online there when it launches, and take your tokens and cash them out for, IRL items like Xboxes. I mean, we can go to phone cases, all sorts of stuff. We'll throw on that rewards place just in the meantime, right? Because this isn't a pump and dump flip overnight item, right? So we'll just start with 1 store for easy math. So our 1 store by month 12 is going to be generating between $7,000 and $12,000 in profit per month. Now, this profit for this 1 store, everything goes back into the community wallet. 100%, all money is going to filter back through there and onto that ledger you guys can see in our Discord. This ledger explains every single transaction in and out. The only thing it doesn't have on there is like if I sent an NFT out as a giveaway or something, that gas isn't recorded, but it's very, very, very close. Every single transaction's on there with the wallet address, so it's very transparent. Now, we do have 20% of that funding reserved for business expenses. This could be IRL events, and by that I mean the event itself, not my flight, not my hotel. That's all my expenses. I'm an investor just like you guys in this. So that was the basis behind the project, because now, at the end of this roadmap, we open up a channel in the Discord, and we all get to propose what we want to do from here, where we want to go, how we want to innovate in this space. And the great thing is we don't have to drop another project to be able to fund this venture, right? We have funding flowing in passively from Web 2. We're not recycling money over and over and over again like we see in this space. And then at that point, we have votes. Everything is snapshot voting. Your OGs as of now are 7 votes per NFT, and then the secondary collection, you're looking 2 or 3 votes in NFT. So this initial launch is really the control, the sway, kind of where things are going to land, and because you're going to have to get a lot more secondary to add up to 10 OGs, right? So. But by doing that, we've opened the door to be able to innovate without having to worry about our fundings. You take those numbers and you times them by 6, guys. That's a lot of money. And every year, longer we have the stores, the better they perform. There's a community member that's had one for 10 years now, and he's pulling 6 figures off of 1 store in profit a month. So it's absolutely insane. I don't see it anywhere. I've been trying to hunt down a project that's solely funded by, a Web2 venture, like e-commerce that's passive. Because I'm pretty sure it's JK, but a really good friend of mine in the space, his things, you have to evaluate what you're exchanging for your time, because your time is more valuable than anything. So when we all have the time to focus on pushing this to the next level or creating something new in Web3, we're exchanging that for our time, right? Which is available because our funding's passive. We're not focusing on secondary sales to keep going.
Yeah, that's
Does
great.
that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
in a nutshell, you guys are fractionalizing through the use of NFTs ownership of a Web3 or a Web2 e-commerce store.
Yeah, in essence, right? With the legalities and stuff, fractionizing is a no word, right? But essentially that's the case, right? You're buying into a business venture. It's sort of, how do I say this without? I mean, we figured out a way to make this a passive play 100% legally. So if that's what it comes down to, then that's when we just we're just distributing amongst NFT holders if that's the vote that gets passed. But I'm kind of hoping the community goes a different route and kind of decides to try and innovate a little bit and see if we can create something new here. Something in the articles. What are NFTs going to do next? I want that to be what we do.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great concept. I really like what you've brought to the table, and I think if it's done right and executed with complete transparency, that it has the potential to be successful, right? And it also is encouraging that you've found the fortitude to still push forward, even though the market that we're in currently doesn't have near the capital that it did just a year ago, right? Many people have gone and left, or they're just on the sidelines waiting, right, until the volume picks back up. So I do think there's something to be said about that. You could be rewarded long term by launching at a time like this and establishing a really cool community. So so tell us more about your team, right? Like who all makes up Casa De Luna?
Yeah, so you got me as the founder, and then we have Sam the capitalist. Oh, perfect. We can scroll right through. They're
Yeah,
not
I'm right on
actually
it.
all on here, so maybe we'll flip to the Discord after this point. But yeah, we got Sam here. So Sam is the guru of the back end. He built the Discord. He handles all of the security. He handles all the technical issues when it comes to Casa's Discord and back end. Super smart dude. He's on the teams of 2 or 3 other projects. He's working all over the place. He's definitely an up and coming name here in Web3. Super happy to have him. He kills it. Like, there's nothing he can't do, guys. Shout out to Sam. I wouldn't be here without him for sure. But yeah, and then if you want to scroll down there, but maybe we'll go in order here. Yep. So all right, we got Mel there. So Mel has been jumping around with me on Spaces. She's she's our social media manager. She helps pitch Casa on various spaces. She handles the Instagram, the Discord. Part of the Twitter's her as well. She kills it. Definitely couldn't do it without her. And then you got Rob down there. So Rob's our artist. This guy is amazing. Used to be a tattoo artist, and now I think he's full-time Web3, I believe.
Awesome.
Yeah, he is super good at what he does. I know he's in the middle of 3 or 4 different projects as we speak. So, with Casa, I believe Casa being the first one that's launched, and then I believe the next one he's launching is Invisible Enemies, which is super sick art. I've seen some of that too. He's definitely going places as well. Look him up if you need an artist, by all means. He's really good. Then we got Braxton down there. So Braxton, he's actually a family member too. He's my cousin. He's the one that kind of got me into a lot of this cryptocurrency side of things.
Nice. Isn't that how it always works? Like,
Yeah,
like a good buddy or a family member just like red pills you, orange pills you.
Exactly. Yeah. He's a kid. I think he's 21 or 22 years old, and he bought his house off of crypto profits last year. And he just he kind of got me into the crypto side, and then I split and went NFTs, and he stayed crypto. So I have him in our Discord, just kind of giving people, what he thinks is. He's more of a retirement caller, right? He doesn't deal in the overnight flips, the day trading stuff. In
Yep.
his mind, he'd rather set people up for that long term, for the you're going to be set when you can retire, sort of thing. And that's why I have him in there. I don't see that very often. I see tons of options and putt traders and crypto callers and NFT flips, but I don't see a ton of really that long term setup inside the focused on inside of Discord, if that makes sense. So having him in there
Yeah.
makes me feel pretty dang good about it. Let me go down. I believe we got
That was it on there. Oh,
yeah,
you got it at the bottom.
we got J Rock down there. He's the lead mod in the Discord. He handles all of our tickets. He handles everything annoying. Shout out to him. I would die without him and Sponge and Eric. You got Sponge. Sponge is our poker manager. He does our we do once a month mega tournaments with like 15 projects. It's super insane. Like 5 or 6 grand in prizes go out. It's absolutely nuts of a poker tournament. And then he helps Eric, who's our other mod, which isn't on here right now. He helps him do the weekly poker tournaments as well. And they're all mods as well in the Discord, so they all kind of wear multiple hats. And then we did just hire Chrissy, our community manager. She's kind of in charge of going in the Discord and making sure that if anyone has questions, they've been replied to. Going and replying on the Twitter accounts and saying, "Hey, thank you. We appreciate you," stuff like that. Along with everyone else, that's just her main focus there.
It's funny how that works out, because we have a woman that runs our community manager. So there's something to be said about women putting these guys all together and keeping them on track and making sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. Like, I don't know if a man can do it. A woman has to keep us all in line.
I try my best. I just, when I'm scrolling through Twitter, I don't think to click the reply button. I hit the heart and move on. Like,
Yeah.
it's not something that you think about. So, having that aspect is it's huge. It helps a ton.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. So with your initial, I'll click on your the gallery here. So, let's see. I know that. Yep, here you go. So you had some of your NFTs and some examples of your NFTs. These are some of your NFTs that in your first initial launch, correct?
Yes. Yep. Actually, that's one of the ones that is sitting in my wallet right now.
Nice.
Like an idiot, I didn't put my wallet in the address collector either, so I'm paying full price with everybody else. Let's go.
No, that's good. It's good for you.
I sat there and reminded them for 2 weeks, and then I didn't even do it. You gotta love it, right? So there's my payment. But yeah, so I have 3 different types. I have that one right there that there's a little over 1,000 of that type in the collection. And if you notice, you'll see like the arm patches, scrolling through them, you'll see a bunch of different projects and stuff that I've been involved in. I know it might be, are you by the Discord? It might be easier to go through.
Let me see.
On like that sneak peek side.
I don't think I can pull the I can't pull the Discord
perfect.
up on this because it's a web page, but I can pull it up on.
Oh, I see. I gotcha. Yeah, on here you're kind of seeing the difference in, so that's a generative NFT right there. You got the skull patch, different gun, different vest, different background, right? So there's about 1,000 of these style of NFTs. And then we have a vintage, like a vintage legendary. It's MTV inspired. We might be able to find one here recently. So let's see. So go ahead and click on that Ether Brew one right there. Yeah, so if you see up at the top, these are the legend types, like the one with the Ether Brew flag and the Good Gods flag right there.
That's awesome.
There's only 100 of this style in the collection. That's kind of that super community style, right? Where traits from all different projects around the space that we've partnered with, and I kind of just mashed them together. I didn't really originally they were going to be our legendaries, and then I was like, it'd be cool to just mash all these traits up. So I added 100 of those, and then I added 100 of the DMTV inspired astronauts too, holding the boom boxes. I don't know if right there. So there's also 100 ones of those.
That's awesome.
And this is actually a perfect one to land on. You got the Snuggle Buddies flag up there. That's a partner project of ours. And they're going to be offering us whitelists and access to pre-sales and stuff like that. So that's just another one of the values that these OGs have. I know a few of these projects has already came in and they've wanted to start like trait groups, like, so everyone that gets this, this Joey Capitano, the Capitano Collective patch, there's a channel in his Discord and you can go access that has kind of utility for that little trait group. So it'll be kind of cool to see the trait groups that kind of form here. And, maybe we have fight nights on Oculus where the Snuggle Buddies battle the Phantoms, like
Nice.
stuff like that, just to make it fun on that aspect.
And Rocket Ship saying you might as well have an astronaut with some bourbon, right? I mean, makes sense.
Exactly. We got one holding a beer for sure at some point, I've seen. So now this one's an example of a legendary. So you can see all of the traits match that specific project. This one's ATS. This one's a little special because that's actually my astronaut ape inside that Astro. So I thought that one was kind of cool, but you'll have 11 of this style and 11 of the other style that all match one project, and that's going to be your one of ones. Now, if you mint these, you're going to get an NFA gold pass. This gives you access to go and launch your own e-commerce store for free. You have that utility immediately. Go into NFA's Discord and you set up a shop and sell merch, or it gives you access to print on demand platforms. You can go and put your NFTs on t-shirts and hoodies and all sorts of stuff, and have it sent out to you. So that gold pass is huge. If you're in Vegas too, you get a lot of discounts at their compound once that's up and running. So super big there. But yeah, this one was just this is the only one that has another NFT in it. So this was kind of like the
holy grail.
I guess that's my IP, huh?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. No, I think you guys have a really unique concept. I wanted you to talk about your project and get all that stuff out there. I will say that Maverick and I together have probably talked to, I don't know, what do you think, Maverick, between 40 and 50 groups?
At least, yeah.
And then independently, we've had to do our own stuff where we didn't talk to them together. So I would say in total, we've talked to more than 60 groups, and I've never seen this concept, and I think it's very unique. And I think it's a really good concept. It makes sense if that's a good way to put it. So, and it's different.
Sure, and it seems like a reasonable way to fund off-chain business, right? Like something that can generate capital in a different way. I like the concept, I really do. I actually have a question surrounding, how the rewards or the funds that are created over time through these e-commerce businesses are returned to the NFT holders. I know you said 100%. Is that correct? You said
so 100% is flowing back through, right? We have to reserve 20. So we have 20% reserved. I just want everyone to see where it goes. So you'll see the 100% deposit from the business account, right, back in. And then we'll have this 20% for the business expenses, because as this goes on, we're gonna have expenses. We've got to pay team members, right? So maybe we do 1% to the community manager, 1% to this person, 1% to this person, to that core team that kind of makes everything work and everything grow, right?
Yeah. That was kind of what I was getting at, was like, for sure there are operating expenses associated, right? And so I was just curious where those funds were going to come from and how it was going to be distributed. I'm guessing since this is on the Ethereum blockchain that the rewards are going to come through Ethereum as well, or have you guys gotten that far on how it'll be distributed?
Yeah, so as of now, with talking with the lawyers, the only way to do it without getting into that gray area, right, that you're getting into that securities category. So basically, let's say you own a casa and you go into the proposal channel and we have 50 grand in the community wallet and you propose a distribution of those
Hmm.
funds. And so what we do is we put it up to a vote. And if we get 51% that agree that we should do a distribution at that time, what'll happen is we will send out, we will basically you will be claiming a certain token. So you will go and you'll claim an NFT. And then what the company does is they go and they make an offer on that NFT and you guys accept the offer, and that's how your distribution goes back in without it being a profit sharing style type of profit sharing or
Okay,
dividends.
so
You know what I mean?
just
So it's essentially a
to be
buyback.
so to be clear, it would work like you would airdrop somebody an NFT, right?
Hmm.
Which would represent the fractional piece of whatever that's going
Yeah,
to be distributed, and then you as an organization would then purchase those back, and
at
that would
at the distribution rate. Yeah.
okay, all right, yeah, that's interesting. I
Yeah, there's
definitely
going to be way easier ways to make that work legally, moving forward, I am sure.
there will be.
This is just what the lawyer said works now with minimal risk on that aspect of things.
Yep.
So moving forward, if we're able to, if we're able to pivot on that system, I have no problem doing that. Obviously easier is better and easier is usually cheaper. So
Sure.
Absolutely.
but yeah, and we marked that 20%, because there's going to be gas fees in there and stuff, like team wise, you're probably 8 to 12%, in revenue paying the team, but you still got the other 8% in there for a booth at an event if you want, and to pay for gas too, to go and buy back all of these NFTs because the amount in the community wallet's backing everything. So you take that 80% and 80% of that gets redistributed. So we still always have that cushion for the operating expenses. And then as the next month's revenue come in, it just kind of starts over. So we're like, okay, cool. That $30 in NFT this month was sick. All right, let's add 4 more stores and let's see if we can make that $100 by this time next year. Maybe next year you're 100 USD in NFT. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so just kind of, I see that happening, right? I see a distribution coming as soon as we're in that profit and we're above that $10 or $20 in NFT range. And what I think after that first initial one happens, I think we're going to see is they're going to happen less and less frequently because the longer we let that build, the more those are going to be, right? Now let's say we come on an opportunity or to invest in a company that's at the ground that everyone believes that, everyone thinks it's going to be the next big thing, right? Somebody votes on it and passes, then the funds from the community wallet will invest right into that, whatever that was. And when we take that out is, another proposal. So it's really like just a big voting system on really the direction we take it all. And
Yeah.
these NFTs are your votes.
Yeah, the DAO system is a very good system, and it does answer a lot of questions, especially with the regulatory questions. And we took a very similar approach, and I think that I think that our listeners are also going to see a lot of similarities in our project. So some of our members are in here listening, and some of your members are in here listening. So the way that we came up with our idea when we were talking about Bourbon-n-Blockchain services, we actually were trying to solve some of the exact same issues that you were trying to solve. We saw a lot of nonsense kind of going on back in late 2021, going into early 2020, and we decided that we were going to try to help find projects that were good projects to invest in long term. And it became a little bit difficult for us to do that because a lot of projects were. It was literally projects were failing left and right. So as we were doing that, we decided after a while of looking at project after project after project that had terrible tokenomics, terrible fundamentals, And most of them were copy pasta of projects that have failed right before they launched their own project. We decided that maybe we can take all the knowledge and experience that we've learned through this process and create our own project that didn't have all those pitfalls. And that's kind of how we developed our project. So I think we're very, very similar in a lot of ways. One of the things that we were talking about is creating a real yield, right? Your project is creating a real yield to give back to its community as rewards in any fashion, how it determines to do that. And we chose to do on-chain validation through proof of work. So what we're doing, we're supporting blockchain technology through proof of work. We're amassing validators through various blockchain technologies such as Ethereum, AVAX, A0, you name it. We're going to be purchasing and participating in these networks, and we're going to provide those rewards directly to our club members. So we have a very, very similar structure, and I think that it's very unique that we have different ideas. But overall, if you look at it from like a 50-yard view, we're very similar.
Yeah, in a way, we're just trying to find that impasse that everyone's at on. Honestly, it comes back to that recycling of money in this space.
Yeah.
How, I mean, you know what? I've been giving this a lot of thought here recently. And what is it that gives you the most comfort as an investor? Honestly, I don't think that anybody's comfortable getting into a degenerate type of project. It may be exciting momentarily,
Yeah.
but it always leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It never works out. I think what we're all craving as a community is projects that can withstand the test of time, because we all know that with time, and we wouldn't be in this industry if we didn't believe in blockchain technology in general, right? It's foundational, and we believe that this is a path to financial freedom for all of us if you're involved now. And so I think the mindset has changed in a lot of people, and their realism has been created, and people are looking for opportunities such as these to get involved early into something that is going to grow sustainably over time and provide a consistent revenue. And man, I'm excited for these type of projects. I'm so tired of the degenerate style. They may be
Yeah.
exciting in the moment, but you fail more often than you win. I just want something to last, and I want to be a part of something special for the long term. And I think that things like this have the opportunity. What it takes is forthright, straight up, honest founders and team members that care about their communities and not only their interests. So
And transparency.
That's what we're looking for, right? And so when we talk to groups like yours, that's something that we're kind of testing the waters on to see if you fit that mold of what we envision being something sustainable, honest, really caring about people and not just your own self-interest. I think all that comes with time. If you care about people, you care about your community, I think you'll be rewarded long term. You just have to stay humble and remember what you're in it for. And
100%.
So it's not our money, right? As founders, all of this that's pulled together to build something great, it's not our money. We have accepted the responsibility of using that in an equitable way, and in a hopes that we can all succeed and grow together in the future. So it's exciting. I'm glad you came on. I learned a lot tonight, and there are some similarities in our project. So personally, I'll be keeping a close eye on you guys.
Absolutely.
And I may even be asking more questions on the back end of this. Okay.
Yeah, and please do. Anyone
because
listening, because
there's a lot to unpack here. In fact, like opportunities in the future. Look, Bourbon-n-Blockchain is also looking to diversify into sustainable blockchain technology type businesses, right? And so I don't know if this one necessarily fits the mold, but I can tell you, like the avenue that you guys are taking is something that we would be interested in if our
Very
community
intriguing.
was. Yeah, like this whole e-commerce idea. If our community was like, hey, look, this is something we believe in. I think it would be something we would like to explore, and I think that's where in the future we could work together. And I'm excited for
100%.
you guys.
That's the cool thing, right? With with this e-commerce thing where usually you're picking the business first, you're launching it up, and you're going with it, right? Here we're setting up the funding to be able to pick our business. So this is kind of a unique way that you know the pivot to be able to pivot and change lanes on a dime is super important in this space. And it's with these e-commerce stores that you can sell them with a multiplier, guys, based on their performance. So let's say something happens and we can't use them anymore, boom, we sell with our multipliers, and we pivot and head that next direction, right? So it's just insane. It's insane the possibilities that can come from this, because I don't know a project out there right now that is that is able to go and innovate in a way that the funding isn't a super huge issue.
Yeah.
I want to make something new. I want to do something different in this space. I want to be the first, and setting us up this way when we have those opportunities to be able to be that first, to be the ground floor on something. We won't have funding holding us back, and we won't have to hurry and drop 10,000 NFTs to make it possible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
So-
100% agree. Well, I think that we do have a lot in common. I'd love to talk to you guys more about your project and what you guys are doing. But I'm going to hijack the conversation towards the end here.
Please do.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some cool visuals about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's going nuts right now. And I think everybody needs to see this. So check this out. This is a visual of Bitcoin transactions as they're happening, right? We've shown this in the past, but I still think people need to see it. So
Whoa.
look at that monster. Look at that. Hold on. What is that?
We
So
introduced this almost a year ago now, Draco.
yeah.
This,
Oh no.
Yes,
208
been that
Bitcoin
long.
was that big one. That's how long it's been?
Yep.
All
A
right.
year
Well,
ago we talked about this.
that's disappointing and crazy. So this is my favorite one to watch, because it's like live transactions as they start to fill up. Most people don't know this, but a Bitcoin block it takes like between 10 to 15 minutes to fill up. So these are all of the transactions that are filling up the block, and then it fills up and they kind of fall off the side. And this is just like a continuous flow. So I thought this was interesting to show people. You can click on them and you can actually see the transaction details over here on the side. So that's a 4 Bitcoin transaction. There's a monster that just came through, 107 Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was mine.
No, yeah, my bad.
Day
Sorry.
trading it,
I put your wallet up here. My bad. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And then I found a new one that I want to show everybody before we go. This is called Fiat Leak, and this is insane. Okay, so I have to explain this because it took me a while to figure what all it's doing. This is calculating all of the transactions that are going on right now, like instantly. So if you look at the bottom here, Bitcoin is right here coming up, Ethereum's coming from here, and these are all of the transactions happening in the US per second. So it's reading it at a 1 second rate. So right now, Bitcoin's trading at $500,000 a second. Ethereum's about 228. It bounces around. I thought this was really interesting. And you guys have to go. It's called fiatleak.com. You guys can check this out yourself. This is an amazing website. Now,
Yeah.
I can make this even cooler. Check this out. If I click Bitcoin, it'll zoom out, and now it will only track Bitcoin around the world. And I want you guys to notice something while we're looking at this for a second. You're going to notice what it's tracking at the bottom is the currency that's purchasing Bitcoin. On the left-hand side over here, these are the exchanges that are purchasing and selling the Bitcoin, right? And then this is the amount of transactions. So it'll say right now it's per minute on average. This is how many are traded. And then this is the actual trade per second. And it's tracking it like really, really, really quickly, obviously. I think what you guys are going to notice here, as I let this load, it kind of starts to fan out a little bit. The currency that's most widely used to operate on Bitcoin is what?
USD.
Yep.
100%.
So, and I think we hear these narratives around all different types of ecosystems that you listen to, that the U.S. dollar is falling in power, right? Buffalo Trace is amazing. When you look at something like this and why Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is important, if the U.S. government and all of these regulators saw stuff like this, right? You want the U.S. dollar to be dominant around the world. We don't want to lose that. Look at this chart right here. This is what people are using to trade. I think this is a big deal. People want to be able to trade in the U.S. dollar, and it's right now it's dominant. It's very dominant. So I think that this could be something that all of these individuals that are doing these regulations and looking at all of these different ideas, they need to see stuff like this. If you want to take back the U.S. dollar dominance and you want to make sure that it stays, the dominant currency in the world, this is the type of stuff that we need to work on. This is why cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, all of that type of stuff is important, because look at what it's doing for the U.S. dollar. It is the dominant currency.
Well, I'll tell you this too. The world wants the US dollar to remain strong. And it's good for the world. Why? Because in order to transition to another like dominant currency, there's a lot of pain that happens in that transition, right? Because right now the US dollar's inflation, the inflation and everything else going on is negatively impacting the world. And so the US dollar remaining the dominant currency and kind of the world currency, it's beneficial to everybody, because it's just going to be painful, right? If we transition to something else, right, it would be absolutely horrific for the entire world's monetary system, and there would be a period of significant bleed. So yeah, I think this is a really cool chart. Never seen anything like it. I think these innovative metrics like this are really cool. It's mind numbing though. Like I can't stare at that very long. I start to get
right. And it's fully, you can mess with it all you want. You can go back and forth and click. Let's say that you're really into Ethereum. You can do the same thing, and if you can click on a different country as well. So you can get rid of some of these. Like if you don't want to track these other different cryptos, you don't have to. But if you wanted to track Ethereum, for example, you click on Ethereum and it zooms out and it tells you what the price is and where it's all coming from. So specifically with Ethereum, this is what it's tracking mainly. And it tracks it down to the second, which, I mean, I don't know who's providing this data, but that's amazing. I mean, do you think traditional finance could keep up with this? I would say no.
They couldn't work together significantly enough to make this happen.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, no, this is really cool. Really cool. I want to see how many transactions per second are coming from Texas IP addresses right now. Can you do that?
I don't think it goes by IP address. What I think it's going by is by the exchange, and then by the currency that they're using, and then what country they're in. I think that's it. Right. I don't think they're reading the IP addresses.
Yeah, we're all using VPNs anyways, so it doesn't matter. We wouldn't see the true number. We wouldn't see the real number anyways.
Like Texas is just buying Doge, just a bunch of Doge. That's it.
A bunch of degens.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I think that kind of wraps it up for us. This was an amazing conversation. Hush, I do see us having additional conversations after this. Awesome. It was great to meet you. It was great to hear about your project. Your community is awesome. We loved seeing them in the chat, and I think we'd love to talk to you more as we continue forward.
For sure. I'm going to open a ticket and add you guys to it. That way you don't keep getting lost in my DMs.
Perfect. Sounds good.
We can make sure that we connect and do what we do. But yeah, this was a blast. Seriously, thanks for having me up. And guys, like these guys, subscribe to this channel. Super sick. I haven't experimented much with YouTube, but I'm definitely going to. This seems a lot more personal. I like it.
Yeah. Cool. And then our community manager, the woman that runs everything, comes in and reminds us to tell people to hit the like button. Thank you, Jen. Just running the show constantly from the background.
I was going to be like, well, thanks for the sponsors. Thanks for I can't say that here. What do I say?
We'd like to thank everybody like Rocket Ship that showed up and all of our members. And
that's right. No, this has been a great conversation. I'm glad we had an opportunity to do this, and I really like what you guys have going on. So we look forward to seeing you guys in the chat. And I guess you're going to send us out in the astronaut costume. So
There it
Man.
is. All right, Hush. We'll see you guys on the moon.
We'll see you there, guys.
bye, guys. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.